Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing part 2. We're going to walk through the steps to alignment. Now there's a couple things that I need everybody to hopefully pay attention to, is the fact that when we start making adjustments, the red dot is separate from the laser beam. So we're going to adjust, we're going to check the laser beam itself, and we're going to make adjustments to the red dot, to the laser beam, so that we can utilize the red dot to help adjust the beam so we can see it. Because if not, then you're using an invisible beam with just a couple dots and hoping you're moving in the right direction on these. So again, we're going to walk through those steps of a full alignment. We're going to align mirror 3 to the lens using the 2-inch and the 4-inch lens, just to double check. We're also going to verify that the head is at a 90-degree angle to the bed. All of these we're going through because we know that this laser wound up on its top while it was in the crate. We've already seen the damage. We've already walked through all that other stuff. So this is how we're going to progress through the steps of checking, verifying, and fixing any and all damage. I hope you stick around and watch it. It's probably going to be long, boring, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to make it make sense on how and why you're adjusting, what you're adjusting to get your laser back in alignment. What still amazes me is this laser wound up in the crate on its lid with all this damage. And in reality, it's not that much to fix. Just goes to show you the build quality and everything that Thunder puts into making these. So stick around, watch as we go through all of these. Hope you learned something. Today we're going to start with aligning the Thunder 35-100. We're starting here in the back. You can see the tube. And we're going to start. We're going to place this tape gently over the mirror. That way I can see. Then we are going to pulse the laser to see where that dot hits on mirror 1. Now that we got it so you can see, we're going to hit the pulse button. Couldn't really see it. So our red dot is almost center of that dot. So now we're going to adjust the red dot to match that. Now I'm back around to the front of the machine. I'm going to come over here to the controller, and all I'm going to do is move the head so that I can get to that mirror. And we're going to walk around here. Now, Thunder's got this great little frame right there. Instead of trying to put it on top of the mirror, we're going to do this. And then I'm going to rub my finger so that I can see the circle, because my goal now is to get it to the middle. And as you can see, the red dot is below. Let's draw a marker around it so you can see a little better. Just in case you couldn't see, I kind of pushed down and kind of gave you a general idea, and you should be able to see, hopefully, that the red dot is in the bottom. So what we're going to do is pulse the laser near. So near mirror 1 and far being the front of the machine. And let's see what it looks like. And this angle you'll get a little bit better from the back side of mirror 2 near, and then here shortly we will pulse. So I'm going to hit pulse and then move to the front of the machine. So right now you can see the red dots at the very bottom. My hole is just about in the center right there. So let's pulse again and see what we look like far away from the lens. And looking at that, we've got 2 dots stacked on top of each other. So now we're going to keep this recording, set up another camera so that you can see what happens when I start adjusting mirror number, or start adjusting the red light pointer. So everything's set up now. I'm hoping I can see from my angle back here with the sun glaring and everything else. Let's slide around to the other side so I can actually see which way I'm going. So right now it looks like I need to go up. Now if I turn counterclockwise, you should be able to see the red dot moving. Let's come back down a little bit. Now I'm going to go to the outside for me, which is the left side. See which way this turns. Oh, look at that. It goes right there. So it looks like I'm still a wee bit high. So I'm going to come back down. And let's start about right there. Now we're going to, because that looks good to me, we're going to double check it one more time and make sure that the red dot is where the laser beam is. I'll walk back around to the front, taking my other couple pieces of tape. The key to all this is once you start aligning the mirrors, you want to move your red dot to the double dots that are stacked on top of each other from your laser beam. So I'm going to pull that off. And I'm going to put this back on. And now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go to the rear of the machine, near the mirror 1, pulse it, and then move to the far side. Let's try this and see. So just as a reminder, take your tape off of mirror 2. Let's move the head to this corner, and we're going to hit pulse, move it. Let's see where this red dot is. Okay, so I'm at the far end, and you'll see if I can zoom in. My red dot and my beam in this position are almost on spot on. So I'm going to hit pulse, and then I'm going to try to come in, get a little bit tighter of a view, and you'll see that I have an oval. I don't want an oval, I want 2 dots like I did before. So now I'm going to adjust the mirrors and repulse. I'll leave this camera set up on this one so that you can see how the beam or the red dot is moving, as well as when we pulse it. So what I'm going to do is I move ever so slightly, and I'm not going to overcompensate. I'm just going to try to adjust a little at a time until I get the dots on top of each other. So because this is a learning experience, we're going to just show you the effects of when you start changing stuff. Okay, so my 8mm doesn't work. let's reach over here and, I think this is the 8. Okay, so if I break these loose as well, and you can see on the other camera as I'm tweaking this, the red dot is moving. So that one, if you notice, look, as I tighten it, now these, so when you start messing with all of these, like the goal is to loosen it, but know that when you start to tighten it back up, okay, so I've released the mirrors. Now let's see what happens. You'll see this one starts moving it that way, right and left. This one here kind of does a diagonal. And this one here will go up and down, so I'm turning counterclockwise. And as I look at everything, I want to try to split the difference. So let's go clockwise there. Maybe a hint on the diagonal until I get to where I need. Now I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to switch out the tape. And we're going to show what happens. So you'll also notice I'm not quite in the center yet, but I promise you we will get there. So again, I always come back around to there. And I'm going to hit pulse. And then I'm going to move it. And let's see what it looks like. Let's get you really zoomed in on this one. And then I'm gonna hit pulse. Okay, so I'm gonna peel this off and I'm gonna look. And right now, if I can get it into the camera, I'm looking pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to look and see what it looks like on the front corners as well. So my tape is back on, and now let's do some adjusting. So we're gonna bring it all the way to this side, okay? But first, no, let's go ahead and just do this and let's see what happens. Because you know, it's a learning experience here, right? So I pulse, then I drag it this way. Let's see where the red dot is compared. I don't think that's too awful bad. Let's get out of the beam. And pulse. Okay, so looking at this, if I can get it, there it is. Okay, so I got holes again. I'm just going to rotate this around because I want to see what all four at the same time look like. Okay, we got it. Little low on center, but we'll get there. So let's zoom back out. And do all four corners real quick. So, pulse. Pulse. Pulse, and last one. Pulse. Now, let's zoom out of it, pull it off, and see what it looks like. Huh. I'd say that looks like a hole, and it looks like one hole. So now we do some fine-tuned adjustments to get it in the center. Okay, we're set up to try this again. Let's hit pulse real quick. So I'm a little off there, but we're going to start adjusting to center. Now remember, I've already got, as my hand's going to start screwing with the camera here, I've already got the dots on top of each other. And now I have to do some fine adjustments. So which one was up and down? I believe it's that top one there. See if I can reach in from this side. And when I do that, I start blocking the... So I want to bring it up. And now I'm going to go up a little bit more. And now I am going to go to the right a little bit. What's great is your eye naturally goes to the center of everything you look at. So we're set there. Let's see what happens when I pulse. I'm a little off, but not much. So let's drop it down. But now remember, when we do this, we're going to have to retighten the silver screws and then the brass knobs and everything else. So let me move this tape around a little bit. Now remember, I'm just using the red dot as a guide. That's pretty damn close to the dots on the laser beam, or where the laser beam fires. So let's go back and look at this real quick, move the head around and do some more pulse testing. To move the red dot, again, I'm gonna come back to the back here. And then, so I know right now I need to go a little on the upside. So as I twist the Allen wrench counterclockwise, the red dot is going to ever so slightly move until I get it to the center of the hole. Very fine movements back here create larger movements over on the head and mirror 3. So if I were to need it to move it right or left, let's see, I don't really need to, but let's show you what happens. So you can see it moving. So I'm generally going to put it back where it was. And that's the final step for aligning your mirrors, is aligning the red dot and fine-tuning it to where the hole is. At a 90 degrees to the bed. So I've thrown a large square up there, and then I want to check to see if there's any space in between where the head and the square meets, but I can also, over a longer distance, lower the bed to see. And right now, everything looks to be good for the head being parallel or perpendicular to the bed. And the next thing we're going to work on is checking alignment from mirror 3 out of the lens. Once again, I'm going to take a little piece of tape and I'm going to put it up underneath of that. And I'm going to run my fingernail on it like so, just to get the indent from the nozzle. And then I'm going to pulse. And I'm going to take a look. Not sure if you can see the indent or not, but I'm center of my hole. Well, almost center. Now what I'm going to do is put a piece of wood in here and then move the bed up and down, or the Z-axis up and down, to test. So even if I keep it right there, I'm going to pulse and I get a really big hole. And then I'm going to pulse again. And what this does is allow me to see if anything has changed a little bit, or if I need to readjust. So in reality, I probably should have 2 holes inside of each other. But I'm going to do one more test. But this time, my test is going to be with a 4-inch lens to see if I get something straight out of the 4-inch lens. So I release the quick disconnect. I drop the tighten it back up. Grab a random piece of tape that I have, or the same piece, and do it all over again. And now I can look at this one, and it's pretty center. I could probably do some tweaking. It's a hole, or it's a circle. It's not really elongated. So right now, I think I'm going to be good. We got one more test we're going to work on. We'll raise the bed up. So I got this little piece of clear acrylic that came in the toolbox. I'm going to roughly eyeball the center. Let's see if I can zoom in anymore. Now let's do a pulse test and see how straight it truly looks. Yep, I will get it back in front of the camera again, and I can look and see that line, and what I'm seeing is, all in all, it looks straight. I'm gonna slide this back this way and try it one more time just to double check. And I pretty much have a straight line. So I know that I am vertical, straight up and down, from mirror 3 through the lens and out the cone.